beautiful healing community. My name is Salenna Green, and this is another episode of the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. Today, I am joined by the wonderful Globe, and we are going to be talking about getting into a body. It felt wavy, so I did a little arm wave if you're listening, not watching. But I actually met Globe through the podcasting community. Um, there's not a ton of healing and wellness podcasts out there. There are some though, and it's a wonderful community. I've yet to meet someone within it that I'm not like, "Oh, they're so amazing" when I talk to them. So I really am excited about this conversation. I'm excited for you all to meet Globe and to hear about her podcast and the amazing conversations that she's having over there. This is just going to be fun. But before we get into the conversation, Globe, please do introduce yourself to the people.
Well, hi, what is it? Hot Girls Healing?
Hey, Hot
Yes.
Girls
Hey,
Healing.
hot girls and people. Hi, I'm so happy to be on this platform. As she stated, I'm Globe, and I'm the host of the Verbal Tea podcast. We're talking about moving our bodies in Hot Girl Healing, but my podcast is about journaling. Healing is a multifaceted thing, and so I am big on, you know, rewiring your inner voice to work for you instead of others and others' opinions, but working for you and your fulfillment. And that's what we focus on there. I'm so glad to talk about physical things because I am a performer. So getting into your body is something near and dear to me, and I've had my phases. So I'm happy to get into this, and I'm happy to be on this platform.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. Y'all will also be able to find me on her podcast because I
Yes.
did an episode with her as well. So we'll talk more about all this wonderful collaboration that's happening. But when it comes to getting into your body, what does that mean for you? Like, what does that phrase ignite?
So for me, getting into my body means getting out of my head and being present and in the moment. We hold so much of our energy in our bodies. Like when we're stressed and things like that. And I am an anxiety ridden person. I really am a very anxious person. And I'm working on it. I manage it as best I can, but I can feel it. So getting into your body means for me, like journaling, I like to spend intentional time just getting in touch with it. And when I don't spend that time doing that, I can feel it. I can feel my jaw like being clenched consistently. My posture is not great. I can feel it. And I'm like, okay, I need to have another session soon.
Oh, yeah, that's so real. Like when I think about getting into my body, I also automatically go to that mind body connection. And it makes me think about how disconnected we can be from our bodies on any given day. I'm like, when I think about getting into your body, I think about the fact that we exist in our minds a lot. And that's just the area that we are expected to exist in. And for, the most part, we do. We're intellectual people. But there is definitely something about getting out of that space and focusing on what your body is feeling that can be incredibly healing for you. I genuinely feel like when I started actually getting into my body was when I started to reflect and start to see kind of where I had been led or what choices I was making in life. And it just allows a space for reflection, I think, when you're in your body. That sometimes when you're in that head space, you're just going too fast. It's going a mile a minute. And it's usually not thinking about, what has happened. A lot of the time it's thinking about what will happen or what could happen.
Or how you're going to talk about it. Now that we're on social media, it's like, oh, how am I going to make this content sometimes? But even just taking a moment to enjoy the feeling of what it is to be happy, how it feels in your body to feel happy or to feel at home, or even after a good meal, just remembering how that feels. Almost, it sounds funny. This is my brand, I guess, but journaling it in your body, like, wow, my body feels relaxed. I feel alert because I just nourished myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about moving, but just how you feel in all those different moments. Being in touch with that is great because it helps you to notice when you're in a good space or in a not so good space.
Yeah, and to help with processing that.
Mhm.
Because I think not that, you have to get into your body to process things, but it is a way to do it. To process trauma, to process grief,
Mhm.
even processing joy. Like when I eat something delicious, oh, I'm about to do my little happy food dance. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? So getting into your body and using it as a form of expression and healing is extremely powerful.
Yes, I don't know if you've heard, I listened to another podcast called Therapy for Black Girls, and I can't remember what kind of doctor she was, but she talked about how we hold so much trauma in our bodies. And her treatment is specifically to get that out, and how she'll have people end up crying just because she touched a certain part of their hips to loosen it a bit because they held so much there.
Wow. Yeah, I've actually always had really tight hips too. So
Yeah. Yeah, same. And I body rolls and what are they? My gym teacher back in the day called them trunk rotations. I do those deliberately every day. If I don't do any
mm,
other movements, I like to try to get my hips loose and do some stretching because those are always the tightest parts of my body. I haven't chronicled why, but I do just try to loosen those.
mm. So what was the medium, I think, I want to ask, like, how did you get introduced to like really that mind body connection and getting into your body? Because I know, like, for me, I was introduced through dance. Like, that was
Mm,
the space that I used to get into my body, to process some strong emotions, to think about myself. Honestly, I started being a little bit more reflective in dance spaces because,
mm,
once you get the dance or the movement in you, there's a little bit more time and you can start thinking about other things. Like for me, you think about the dance more deeply. So
mhm,
when I'm first learning it, I'm just like trying to figure out the dance moves. Once I know the dance moves, now I'm like thinking about each detail of my body. It just starts to get so deep. The amount of reflection into yourself that I got
mhm,
introduced through to dance was huge. That being said, dance can go too far sometimes because you can also be taught to be very critical of your body, depending on who your teacher is. But
mhm,
I think just as a medium, it was very
mm.
useful to me.
Oh, okay. So for dance, it was always performance based for me. And when I was younger and before I became a mother, that was like, it was fun. It was just fun.
Hmm.
But when I was pregnant with my first, my body was changing. My mind was in a completely different headspace because I'm a first time mom,
Hmm.
And Tai Chi was it for me because it incorporates dancing with intentional movement where all the moves like they have a history and the relaxing music it set the tone. I got to dance in a way without it being um choreography for performance. It was just
Hmm.
me and my mind and my body, and that really changed how I thought about movement and dance in general. Now, when I dance, it is a lot more intentional and a lot more connected to my mind than it was
Hmm.
before. But Tai Chi changed my whole relationship with movement in general because before then it was I need to look relaxed because I don't want people to know how I feel. I need to dance well because I need to represent the Lord well or whatever. It was always about other people. Where
Hmm.
Tai Chi really helped me connect it with my mind for me.
Wow. No, yeah, that's huge. For me, it like, it's almost like this sense of control. Like when I was growing up, I never really felt like I had control over my life because, I mean, you're a kid, you don't. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll just real aware of that. But when I was dancing, I felt, ultimate control over my body. I have to get it to move. I have to get it to bend, to jump, to do whatever. And I feel like though I've never done Tai Chi, I'm hearing like this connection where I feel like it would also give me that satisfying feeling of just like ultimate control over my movements. Because I've like seen people do Tai Chi, they're like, or whatever.
Yeah.
That classic one that we always see people doing in the park in some TV show or movie. But yeah, I'm so fascinated by Tai Chi. There's such a history behind it, as you mentioned. Reminds me of dance because there's usually a big history behind whatever style of dance I was learning in school. A lot of parallels there. I wonder if it's kind of like capoeira, because capoeira was like, I learned it through dance, but it's also like a martial art, apparently, and like, or like a fighting style, which has a huge, rich history attached to it as well.
Yes, it kind of is like that. And it's so funny. A lot of popular dance practices or structured have a lot of self-defense in them. Tai Chi definitely does, because there are some poses that are kind of like self-defense poses. But it's really about being into your body. When you're into your body, you almost develop an extra sense of what's around you. And it's not really an extra sense. It's just all your senses are heightened because you're in your body.
It reminds me of like yoga too. Like, since we're talking about the defense, it reminds me of the warriors.
Yes.
Warrior 1 and 2, all the warrior sequences. And how challenging those poses can be. Oof. And it really does take a full body experience. Like, whenever I'm holding one of those poses, I'm always checking in with my arms, and I'm checking in with my shoulders, making sure they're low, and then checking in to make sure, got your ankle and your knee stacked up or what have you. It's again, this way of like thinking about yourself that we're not used to doing.
Right, because we don't have to think about our bodies, really. We have to worry about what we put on them, but that's about it. How we hold our bodies, no one really cares if we have our arms crossed or if our shoulders are up to here. Nobody really, they're not assessing you as a person that way. But in a way, they are getting those signals. They're just not speaking on it. We get those signals. We know what it looks like when someone is uncomfortable.
And that's the thing about it. Like, a part of what getting into your body does is allow you to make sure your body is comfortable. Because when I'm, existing in a space where my shoulders are up to my ears and I'm tense and that lower back pain is coming back, like, I actually know that I haven't been doing enough stretching. Then I know, like, your body is always communicating with you. It's always sending you signs and signals. It's just about how in tune with it are we, and like, are we listening to it? Because when I start to get those signs and signals, then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to stretch more. Because we were talking a little bit before we started filming here about how you have to fit things into your schedule, and movement is one of the things that I found that I needed to find a way to fit into my schedule better, especially with switching jobs and having a job that takes up more time every day. I was like, all right, well, I have an hour lunch. It never takes me an hour to eat. So I'm going to use a part of my lunch now to work out. And so I work out for the first part of every lunch break. And I can tell by my body feeling tense in ways that it shouldn't when I need to switch up my workout. I really like cardio, but it is one of those things that then does have my body feeling a little tighter because of the fatigue that I also have. And so I'll then be like, okay, it's time to do some yoga and stretching and some more, stretching based activities for my body. it's fun, honestly. I love it. I love this relationship where I'm listening to my body and it's showing me the variety of movement that it likes.
Yes. I want to say that I'm a mom of two, so my body's changed twice. And so I had to learn how to get back in touch with it. Like the way I walked in heels wasn't the same.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm carrying so much more weight now than I was before because, your hips spread,
Mm,
all of the things. Some people
mhm,
look the same forever, but that wasn't my testimony. But having to reestablish a whole new relationship because it felt like a new person. Um, and finding different things because I worry about different things now. I don't really worry about how my shoulders are. I
mhm,
worry about how my legs are because I'm
mhm,
carrying so much weight. So now I'm just more in tune with how I'm standing and balancing my weight because if I'm feeling uncomfortable, I will shift, to the hip.
mhm,
But then I have to keep shifting. So it's like, how can I like plant myself and my whole body to make sure that I'm feeling comfortable again? And so reintroducing dance has helped me with that. It's just like now I get to explore my body, my body in a whole new different way.
mm. That's so real. I've noticed that a lot with my posture.
Hmm.
Like when I am working out and being intentional with my movement and getting into my body and that relationship, I'll just be more mindful of my posture randomly throughout the day. I'll like notice myself having like a curved back and I'll just like
Hmm.
adjust so that the way that I think about it, so that my muscles are being engaged in a way that's going to support my body.
Hmm.
Like that's, I love to think about it in these just like really the most simplified way that I can. Like, I really just want my abdomen and my back muscles to be strong enough to support my body.
Right. Same here. And that's like that core, everything's there. So much is there in your
Hmm.
core and your back because once you adjust your posture, then you don't have to go on the side. Like when my posture is right, I feel more comfortable in my heels. I feel grounded. Whereas if I'm like, I can't be shy, I have to be confident in my body. That comes with
Yeah.
that comes with the outfit.
And it also comes with that mind body connection.
Hmm.
Because when I'm not in tune with my body, I honestly like, I even feel like I'm like clumsier. And this will also happen if I'm tired. Because,
Mm.
because when you're tired, like it's just going to be off anyway. But I've noticed that the more in tune with my body I am, the more aware of I am about where my body is in space.
Mm.
And I'm not like hitting myself on everything, which has been a problem for me. I'm like, if you struggle with this, please let me know. I know
Yes,
I'm not alone.
I am very clumsy and I always joke around about not being a sneaky person. Like you can tell that I didn't sneak out the house when I
Okay.
was a kid because can't do it.
I'm like, look, we are not slick, okay?
No, no, absolutely not.
Yes, actually. But um I also feel like an energy, from movement. There's a lot in life that is draining. There's a
Mm.
lot in life that does not pour into you. But when you do these activities that get you into your body, oh, you're about to get poured into. It's
Oh,
like
absolutely.
you generate this energy and this mood through movement that is just so centering. Is that the
Hmm.
right word? I feel like centering is a good word for it. It
I
really
agree.
is. And it also allows this beautiful release of pent up emotion. Like for me, sometimes there's emotion that I don't know how to get out. How do I get this emotion out of me? Movement is usually how I'm doing that, how I'm releasing.
Yes, it's like singing. I know we're talking about movement, but singing does that for me too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's some things you can't write about. Like, it's just so far back in your subconscious. You can't get it out, and you have to come back to the body.
I think singing gets you into your body too, though, and it connects you with your breath, which is life. Like,
Yes.
I remember I explored singing when I was in the art school that I went to for years. It was actually one of my first loves. I just realized that I didn't have enough breath to sing.
Oh.
It becomes a problem, I found. Like, if you don't go anyway, maybe
I've
if I
never
really
heard
get my
that.
breath work under control, I can get enough breath together to sing again. But I've always loved singing, and it absolutely connects you to your body. The shape of you're holding your mouth in, right? Like if you're getting into your head voice, like there's so much intricacies like around this general area that happens when you're singing, and then also here in the diaphragm as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can't sing well. I just sing for fun, but I feel so at home. Sometimes a song is on my heart and I don't know where it came from. I start to sing it and my whole body just is music at that point.
That's beautiful. And I think that creative energy comes from healing, because I used to never understand how anyone ever got a song. Like before, if you would have told me that like years ago, I'd be like imagining it, but I would not know what you're talking about. I'm not even kidding you, in the last about 3 to 4 years, random lyrics come to me.
Yes.
I literally have a note in my phone that is just full of random lyrics that have come to me at random times. I'm like, is this what creativity is?
Yes.
Is this what it feels like?
Yes, it is. When you have those big moments, or even just the small moments, when you start to be more present with yourself, poetry just comes to you. The art just comes to you because our lives really are art. It's not
Yeah,
hard to be
literally. I was
inspired.
like, when I was thinking that through, I was like, oh my God, every human is an artist. Every human has the capacity for creativity and for creation. A lot of it is, again, like what we're socialized for, which isn't always great. And so that's why it's really important for us as the adults of today. We get to put our intent out into the world, and we are building community spaces where movement and processing together is normalized.
Yes. I would like to just add, I believe community is creativity.
Ooh,
Because you're making
yes,
a whole
Ashe.
little garden. It's a garden of people. If you really think about it in that way, it is definitely creative.
Oh yeah. Okay, have you heard of how in different Asian countries, there will be like different times in the day where like people all come together and they'll like do little workouts? Or have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it in documentaries and stuff. So unless they just got these people together for this, like, and then you faking it, right? So then it's not a documentary anyway. Let me find out. But I'm pretty sure it was real. It was in the documentary I was watching. And then I've also seen other things too, where it's just like the community comes out and moves together. Like they'll do like little exercises or what have you. And I've always been like, I literally wish. Like, can you imagine community kind of recess? Like, what if we had community recess? What if from this hour to this hour every single day, no matter what industry you're working in, um, or maybe we gotta stagger it.
Just
We'd
a little
figure it out as a community, okay?
bit.
But everybody would be able to come out and do movement together. And imagine what that would do for society. Just small changes like that. Oh,
Too beautiful. A lot of people will make less money if we if we got together this way.
look, we can make it paid hour break, okay? There's a lot of people who already got paid breaks, so we could just
Right.
add another one in there for working out
Well,
or moving as a community.
I mean, I'm an Aquarius, so like we have like revolutionary mindsets. That's what we're rumored to be. When I say that there would be less profit in that. I mean, that if we're all connecting to each other in that way and connecting with ourselves, there are a lot less insecurities, a lot less coping mechanisms and things like that for corporations to prey upon.
Mm.
The more I connect with people, the more I tap into my power, the less I'm addicted to Amazon and Shein and whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, they just don't hold the same value. The less I want to have this new product of makeup or these new clothes or things like that because
Oh,
I
felt.
feel full.
Deeply felt. Absolutely. Oh, I'm like, don't even get me started on the mistake of valuing money more than everything else.
Oh man, it's a constant thing. Like my relationship with money is a constant thing I have to work on because I can be in a good space and then an emergency or something happens and I'm like, ah. But life is supposed to be a hierarchy of needs,
Mm,
and money supports some of it, but like if it's not supporting all of it, then you shouldn't let it consume you.
I know that's right. Come on. Because ultimately, getting into your body is free.
Yes, free.
And I also like to think that, because I'm a believer in that if it's not accessible and available to everyone, then it's not revolutionary. Like, that's a
Yes.
paraphrase, I feel like, of a quote.
Sounds
If you know, you
familiar.
know. But yeah, like things need to be accessible. We need to be shifting away from prioritizing making money. It's past time.
Way past time. And capitalism isolates us. That's like the whole point of it. The whole point of that pyramid scheme is to isolate us so that we think we have to pay for everything we need when really there are some things money could never buy, no matter how much you spend.
Yeah, I actually was seeing this thing about how like all of these things that we're doing right now, these revolutionary actions, like healing ourselves and having time to ground,
Mhm.
having free space, all of these things that we want to be able to do, like take vacations, enjoy the breeze, slow down. These are all the things that our ancestors were doing pre-colonial interruption.
Yep.
And now
Absolutely.
they're repackaged to us as things that we can pay to do if we can afford it.
It's ugly. It's so ugly.
Look, yeah, we don't like it. We're not a fan.
No, and that's why I love podcasting because I get to hear people in fellowship talking together and healing together. I love I love going to events. I used to not like going to yoga and things like that as a group activity because of my relationship with my body.
Mm.
But I went to an event and it was an all BIPOC event, just exclusively just all of us. Like just and it was amazing.
Mm.
Amazing. I never experienced anything like that before. The instructor was great. The playlist was great because you heard us on the playlist, not just beautiful music. You heard us. I heard Kendrick. I heard Erica Badu, Jill Scott, Beyonce, like all of those different people that I could relate to and connect with the music in a different way. Um, and it was free. Like, of
Mm.
course, there were donations, and we all donated. Well, I did donated to honor the the instructor, but it was just a beautiful space, and so it's making me think what you said. Like, community recess would be so revolutionary and so impactful.
That's why I'm so dedicated to community healing. Healing in community is like one of my little taglines for my whole business. Like, it's what I believe in so wholeheartedly. And there's been some amazing healing, especially by us for us. Like,
Hmm.
we understand what our healing needs to look like. We don't need anybody else to tell us that or lead that
Hmm.
for us. And what I found to be interesting in these spaces is that you do get to get into your body in these safe, beautiful black spaces. I
Yes.
experienced a sound bath that I felt go through my entire body. Like, I didn't even know that a sound bath was going to be such a physical experience.
Oh yes, sound baths are great. They are amazing. I remember like they give like this disclaimer, like you may feel this, you may feel that. Don't judge yourself for how you feel. I'm like, this is a crazy range of feelings. What am I getting myself into? But wow, yeah, those are amazing. I've only done those with people I know. The
Mm-hmm.
yoga thing was the first time doing it in a room full of strangers, and I
Mm.
still felt at home, and I did not know that was possible.
Wow. Yeah, it's really such a vulnerable space. I was like, not some sound waves making me want to
Mhm.
cry. Like, excuse
Yes,
me. And then just like the physical feeling of like you literally feel the sound waves like as they're
yes.
coming through the room. It's like chilling somehow, but it's also like this release that's associated with it. I felt unburdened after my sound
Hmm.
bath. It was amazing.
Yeah,
So there's like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm getting chills just
Yeah,
reliving the moments.
yes, the sound baths highly recommended if you're out there and you've never tried one before. And I love what you were saying about doing it with people you know. I
Mhm.
actually like really want to get a sound bowl. They're a little expensive. So
Yeah, they
that's
are.
my barrier right now. But I will have a sound bowl and I will be incorporating them into my own healing workshops because, yeah, I've only been to one sound bath, but I think about that sound bath all the time.
I love that. I just want to say that I know with money, it consumes us in so many ways that we don't feel the weight of the impact that we make with what we're doing if we don't get the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But we just talked about two people who brought us super elevating experiences. And now a number of people, limitless number of people will be able to hear about that. And it's like it's making waves. That
It's
counts.
so true. This is why I love community healing.
Yes.
Shout out Infinite. But like, oh my gosh, it's so important. Not only like for, it's not only just important for me, to have my podcast and build my own platforms and put on my own healing events. It's also extremely important to me to be able to attend other healing events. Like I
Hmm.
am out here, like I love to attend healing events. I love a healing retreat. I love being in spaces where people are stretching me and holding me, emotionally. Like this is what life is about. I think it's the honor of being a descendant of my ancestors to heal.
Yes. And it's a high as honors. It's such a legacy, a deep, rich legacy.
Oh, absolutely. Me and my ancestors go together real bad. Like, I love them. I'm so grateful to be their descendant. I stand on the shoulders of giants. I don't know what to say. I love being black.
Yes.
Power to the people. But
Yes, I second that. I second that. I wouldn't choose anything else, any other experience. This is it.
it's so deep. It's so rich. It's buttery. It's sugary, but like natural sugar, not artificial.
Right.
So,
So flavorful. Like when I think of being black, sorry, segue, but when I think of being black, I think of fine dining, where it's like
mm,
it's a small plate. It looks like a small, modest plate. And then you bite. One bite is a full flavorful experience, you know?
I know you better say that. Because honestly, when you get into your body as a black person, look, that is a whole experience. And dance and Tai Chi and
Mhm.
pole fitness and singing and all the ways that we've mentioned on this podcast episode today, have all been influenced by who we are and the body
Yes.
that we get into when we get into our body. These bodies have been through things. The people who birth these bodies have been through things. And we have a lot of strength in our bodies. We have a lot of gold in our veins, and there's a lot to be proud of. There's a lot to protect and honor in these bodies. And so it really is like building that relationship to yourself. That's the process that we're talking about.
Really, yeah, because like you said, they deserve to be honored, protected. We really don't think about them enough, and we should, because so much is there's a whole legacy in our blood. When
Mm,
we move, when we move, when we as Black people move in any structure, any discipline, it's a Black person moving. You know it.
yeah, we're undeniable. And it's a beautiful thing, but it also comes with some challenges. And
Yeah.
when we, honor ourselves and we protect ourselves, we get to process through those challenges and we get to overcome them in ways that are distinctly us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so beautiful and thrilling.
Yes, they imprinted on everything that we do. And that motivates me in times where I feel, I don't know, especially as a burlesque performer. And when you think of burlesque, you should think of some of the Black icons, but a lot of people don't. They think of just, a glittery white woman in a bedazzled corset. They don't think of us dancing to
Hmm.
hip hop or Black songs with teas, but it can be done. And I love creating spaces. That's what my new thing is now, is creating spaces for us to do that, to flip the script, because we have so much to bring. And in an art of storytelling, why aren't we doing that more?
Look, especially like the oral storytelling. Like,
Mm,
have we not been in that game for thousands of years? like,
listen.
like these are things that we can lean on. These are ways that we like honor the Black bodies that came before us and how they moved in space. We can move the way they moved. We can speak the way they spoke. And it's just, oh God, stop. The way that I'm living through my ancestors and my ancestors are living through me. It's just
Mhm.
this undeniable connection that is so rich and strong and beautiful and physical. Like I look like my ancestors. When you see me, you see them.
And isn't that cool? Isn't that
Isn't
just
that? That is the coolest thing ever.
like everything
Uh,
we have, everything that we celebrate about ourselves, it's from them, like from these amazing people that are lifting us up all the time.
Ashe. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a privilege and it's always there. We just got to tap into it. It's the energy is always there. It's always around you. Just tap in.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Is there anything we haven't said about getting into your body? Because I know we don't discuss the benefits.
Oh man, and challenge it. So challenge your body. I say this all the time
Mm,
because we do it mentally, but do it physically. Challenge your body, push it to another limit, because that will just deepen your love and respect for it even more.
yes. And in a way that's fun. Like we're not listing these activities because we had such a bad time doing them and we never want to do them again. Like we're talking about these things because they're awesome challenges.
Yes.
Every single one of the things we've mentioned is going to challenge you physically, but it's also going to feel good. It's
Hmm.
also going to like motivate you and invigorate you. And that is the part where it's like it gets good.
Yes, because we talk about fun dancing with our friends. Doing yoga is challenging, no matter what level you're there. There's challenge in it. That's why the practice is so strong, because there is a
Hmm.
challenge in it. But yes, a little bit of discomfort for a greater comfort at the end.
And just like that feeling of showing yourself that you're capable of more
Mhm.
than you even thought. There's been so many, like, there was like a move that you're trying to learn or a position you're trying to get if it's yoga. where it takes time, and I'm like in the pose and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm doing it, but I'm like, I can't be too happy because I want to hold it.
Exactly.
But you're just like breathing there, and you're feeling the strength of your body, and you're feeling the connectedness of this unit that makes you up. Like, it's amazing, that connection.
Seriously, like think about how easy we did it as children. I'm aging myself, but remember the reject or the jerk, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That took a moment, but that took a moment to learn for all of us. But once we got there,
Wheels in these streets jerking, like, yeah.
you couldn't tell us anything. We were pros. We needed to be on So You Think You Could Dance. Like, and that's the magic of challenging your body through movement.
Oh gosh, it's so good. I love that as a last encouragement. And I think I think that's good. Let's leave that there. Challenge yourself. That's wonderful. Okay, Globe, where can people find you in real life? Because like y'all heard, you see, get into it.
So, you can find me on Facebook at KGlobeMC. It's a lot of everything because I'm all over the place. But if you want to journal with us and find out more about finding your inner voice, please follow Verbal Tea at Verbal Tea Time on Instagram and TikTok. We also do have a Facebook page just titled Verbal Tea. You can listen to all of our episodes on anywhere you stream platforms, and it's just Verbal Tea. That easy. We do have an episode coming up with Salenna soon, so if you want to hear her, please tune in this month. This Sunday, it will be available for you.
Yay! And y'all, that has been another episode of the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. I'm your host, Salenna Green. You can follow me on social media at the Hot Girls Healing Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. You can also use hashtag Hot Girls Healing to join the conversation online. Y'all, you know I got my prompted journal out there, the self-love prompted journal. Please do support it. I'm also going through different prompts on my TikTok page, so follow me on TikTok, join in the conversation there as well. Other than that, y'all be blessed. I'm sending everybody good energy. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Since I know you're tired, since I know you're stressed, you were always favored, and you were always blessed. It's all about that. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. We better day by day. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. And it goes